The other day we kind of got into a fundamental disagreement on how the Giants should approach the draft and the upcoming season, right? So if I could just do a small recap, J, Q, you want Sanders basically, right? You're not in love, really in love with the QB room like me. Um, I'm more in the school of thought where I don't love Sanders. I don't think Dable. No, I shouldn't say I don't love Sanders. I don't think Dable and Shane love Sanders. Um, I don't think they're gonna draft him. I could be wrong. It's very possible I could be wrong. I'm not saying it's out of the question. I don't see it though. I see Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. Those are the two guys I see, and I'm gonna give my reasons why. But first, I want to go to you guys first. Um, Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, right in the QB room. They made a lot of moves in free agency, Paulson and Debo to go along with Banks. We all know Banks had a little bit of trouble in his sophomore year, covering CB1s. He's going to probably drop down to the CB2. I really like the Paulson and Debo trade, especially in like a zone coverage league. A lot of corners don't travel that much anymore. So I think he's going to be really good as a one. I still think Deontay Banks can be a one, but I think he got to get his confidence back. So I like that. We already know Drew Phillips was great in the slot last year. We already know that. Javon Holland they pick up. You know what I'm saying? As a safety, he's a fucking monster. I think that was a really fucking great move. We picked up a couple of depth pieces on the line. We'll get into that, but in terms of the QB room, Jameis Winston, and then they go and get Russell Wilson. And we haven't been on air since we talked about this. They get Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston, listen, you know what you're gonna get with him. He's the black Brett Favre. He's gonna fucking try to get that ball into tight spaces. He's gonna be action packed. He's gonna throw a lot of deep balls downfield that you're gonna be like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like big 60, 50, 60-yard chunks of yardage for big plays, and then he's gonna throw interceptions right when it's the worst opportune time to do it. You already know what you're gonna get from James Winston. You're gonna get inspirational speeches. He's exciting. He's fun, right? Russell Wilson, we know what Russell Wilson is, right? I'm not. I haven't been down on Russell Wilson the way others have. Throw the Denver shit out. Throw the baby. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, as they say, right? The Denver shit to me that was just it was twofold. It was Sean Payton really personally not liking Russell Wilson. You know what I'm saying? And then there was the whole thing where Russell Wilson was like wanted his own office. He wanted his own section on the plane. Russell might have got a little bit gassed. What Flex say? Cypher don't get gassed. You know what I mean? It was like Russell don't get gassed.
Sounds don't get gassed.
Sometimes you need to be humbled. I'm not saying that's the situation, but from the outside looking in, that appeared to be what it was. I still think Russell Wilson, even though he had a bad year that year, I still think if you look at the numbers the second year, and if you look at the numbers on the Steelers, they're very decent numbers. And further, and more than that, just giving him the eye test with the Steelers last year, I think he played 11 games or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he is a more than serviceable starting quarterback in the NFL. He's not as fast, he's not as elusive as he once was. He still can get out the pocket a little bit, but he can get the ball downfield. He's a veteran. He don't have happy feet like Daniel Jones, right? He's like a super upgrade in terms of the quarterback play from Daniel Jones. I think we can all agree on that, right?
Of course.
And I want to tie this up and give it to y'all in a minute. Russell, Jameis, I feel when they got those two, I feel like they kind of punted on the draft in terms of Sheduer. There's a lot of unknowns of who's gonna, we all probably know Cam's gonna go number one. Is Cleveland gonna elect to go with Travis Hunter? Are they gonna try to pair Abdul Carter with Myles Garrett? Are they gonna, are they gonna go the quarterback route? Because Deshaun Watson re-injured his Achilles, from what I understand. You know, we're gonna get a Joe Flacco or Kirk Cousins, and not, probably not the best options, right? So it's quite possible they elect to go get a Sheduer Sanders, right? Leaving the Giants with a couple of options, and Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter being one of them. That's who I would go with. I'd go Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter. I'll give my reasons in a minute. Let me go Jay real quick, because he got the fire ass shades on, and you know what I'm saying? He's super, super he's the flyest thing on the panel today, and I'm gonna get you next week. So so what is your opinion? Who should the Giants get in the draft and why?
I'll stay with the same. With my thoughts haven't changed. I think that you got to go with the best player at the time of when you get to pick, right? I think that I don't believe that the Cleveland Browns are going to go with Sheduer. I don't think that they're going to. I really believe that they're going to go with Abdul Carter. I think they're going to go ahead and have those animals on the outside just absolutely tearing shit apart, and it's going to be a really rough sledding for anybody that goes up against the Browns. They had a monster defense previous.
Yeah.
You add Abdul Carter to the other side, now you got bookends, and it's just what do you pay attention to?
He could play both sides. Yeah.
Right. So it's so uncomfortable for opposing QBs as well as running backs because they can stop the run also. So I really believe that that's the route they're gonna take, and then they're gonna make a play for Kirk Cousins. That's my thoughts. I don't know that for sure. I don't have an insider. I'm not there yet, but I will be. But right now, that's how I view it. And at that point, if they do that, I think you go Sheduer. You bring Sheduer in. He's a safe pick as a quarterback. He doesn't hurt your quarterback room. He actually enhances it. One, you bring him in, no matter how it goes down the line. Let's just say Russell goes in, it doesn't work out, or God forbid he gets injured or what have you, and you have to resort to Jameis Winston. And then Jameis Winston starts his 30 for 30 type of campaign. It doesn't make it uncomfortable for anybody. You're not going to get egos in that quarterback room. You're going to get people that are looking to win, that are looking to support one another. And there's a lot of wisdom that they can impart on a player like Sheduer. Sheduer is extremely accurate. He doesn't have the best arm. He's not super mobile. He doesn't have happy feet either. He can take a fucking ticking, a licking, and keep on ticking. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Because he's been beat up before. We've watched this because the offensive line in Colorado wasn't sensational. I think that the Giants have shored up the offensive line enough to give him an opportunity. I think all three of them would be better as far as getting away from certain things that Daniel Jones just wasn't able to get away from, which is why we kind of suffered when Daniel Jones was their quarterback. Overall, I just think that it doesn't make sense for us to go in any other direction. I don't think that we should go Travis Hunter because Travis Hunter is looking to go wide receiver. He's looking for the bag, and it makes sense for him too. If he goes corner, I mean, think about what they just paid T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Right now, I'm saying he's not going to get that money this year. He's got 4 years on the rookie contract, but he can negotiate again in year 2, right? Or at the end of year 2, going into 3. So at that point, he's going to become like, yo, hey, listen, look at what I'm doing.
Playmaker, OJ.
He's an absolute playmaker.
Did you see him ball out the other day at the Colorado Pro Day?
1,000%.
The owner of Cleveland was
blown away,
dumbing out over the nigga.
Which could also be another reason why Cleveland goes that route. Any way you look at it, I don't think Sheduer goes as high as 2, which means he'll be available at 3. And I think that the Giants absolutely have to take a shot. And I don't even want to say take a chance because he's worth the pick.
Do you think you really think so?
I do. Tell me somebody picked after him that's going to be worth the pick, other than maybe if Abdul Carter goes after him or maybe Travis Hunter goes after him. Who, like, realistically, there's nobody else out there that you want to go. I mean, that I've looked at, and I've looked at a bunch of them now, more so just to have this conversation.
No doubt.
And I don't see anything beyond Sheduer.
No, it's those three. Those three are the those three.
Those 4.
Who's the 4th?
Well,
okay, but Cam's
gone.
already gone.
He's spoken for, right?
Cam's
so it's those 3, right? Like you said,
for sure.
3.
The Giants are not looking in the first round beyond them. 100%.
Any one of those 3, the Giants really scored. But I think that they need to shore up their quarterback in the future, which is why they only gave Russell the short deal, which is why they only gave Jameis the short deal. They're not thinking in terms of like either one of those guys being well into 2007 or anything like that. Like at that point, you got to make this decision all over again. I think you go with what you have available right now and you build it around him. He's exciting. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be the guy.
Q, what do you think?
I kind of agree partially with both of you. You still have to go with the best player, but I think we also do need a quarterback, man. Like I think a lot of people are not understanding. Like we have 3 quarterbacks all on 1-year deals, totaling except Jameis Winston. What they signed for, like 3 years or something like that, or 2 years,
something like that. Yeah.
But he's the only one that they actually signed even longer. Now, are they testing Russell Wilson to see how well he plays this year to re-sign him? Then that's going to be something that it's going to be a little bit odd too, right? Because then if we are waiting for next year to get another quarterback, who's to say we're going to be able to get the quarterback that we really need and want? Like this has been shown and proven within Giants history that they have always fumbled the bag, man. Every time it comes to drafting something, they've either shown their hand and they lose the spot that they should have had and lost, or they just totally miss on the drafting. Now I do have more faith in Joe Shane because I think he's proved, within the last couple of years that he does actually know what he's doing. But
he's had some big misses and he's had some big hits. I'd say that about Joe Shane.
But what both of those gentlemen really need to happen, and I'm talking for Shane and Dable, they need to win. Now, what happens when you win? This isn't the lottery, like this is not NBA. You win more, you fall down the ranks. Now what are you going to use?
Now what do you do?
How do you get back up there? Now I got to use future draft picks. I got to use other shit that's going to hurt my team in the future because I wanted to go and win games because, and this has all happened in the past. When we have the ability to do it right now, to potentially draft a quarterback that I do think Sheduer Sanders can learn poise from Russell Wilson, with his veteranness and just, and I think Sheduer Sanders already has that, but he doesn't have it at a professional NFL level. Russell Wilson will be the first person, like a perfect person to be able to show him that. And then you got Jameis Winston. You got Jameis Winston, who's a gunslinger, and that's who we also need, man. We need, because Sheduer Sanders, let's be honest, he's really not that. He doesn't really throw down the field as much. But now we got Jameis Winston, who is that. So if we can combine those two,
my problem, right there. You just hit it on the head, and I didn't articulate that properly. We've had problems getting the ball down the field. Dable likes to get that ball down the field. Dable feels stifled that he doesn't have a quarterback that can get it to this fucking playmakers. Part of the reason I think Jalen Hyatt's growth was stunted. You know what I'm saying? Because I thought Jalen Hyatt was a fucking burner, taking the top off the defense. I didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah, that's a great point. I like that point.
Yeah, and I think with him growing with those two guys, Tommy DeVito goes into the practice squad or just cut him. Like if we get Sheduer, and I think right now they're not showing their hand. Yeah, they're gonna sign Tommy DeVito, but you gotta understand, man, on draft day, it's like a game of chess. You don't know what's really gonna happen until the team right before you, puts their cards on the table. And then you gotta obviously have an alternative way to get to the finish line. But that's what I would foresee happening because I really don't want to be a New York Giant team that paid Russell Wilson 1 year. We win 10, 11 games, and now we have the 27th pick or 23rd pick next year, and now we're fucking up Schitt's Creek all over again with Malik Neighbors. Now we have to either re-sign Russell Wilson because there's no free agents available next year. What we're gonna do? Go out and get Marcus Mariota or Jimmy Garoppolo or what? Zach Wilson? Like, come on, man! Like, we don't want none of those guys. I want a young guy, fresh out of college at a high level, like played very well at a high level. I just think, I just think that'll be something that the Giants really need to do. And I really feel like they're probably, like, just in watching them make moves and decisions and over the years, I really feel like they're not going to do it. Like, I really feel like they're probably trying to, like take their Bonnie bag and dip their hand in the bag next year and I'll be trying to get an Archie Manning or some shit, but like, which I don't see happening neither. It's a lot of things, and it all comes down because these guys have to win. And